Tim Prister with Tim O'Malley and John Brice. Pregame, number 21 Notre Dame hosting number 10 USC. We all have picked a Notre Dame loss here today. I don't know that we talked about it on Irish Illustrated Overtime pregame. I'm not really feeling comfortable about that pick right now, but I think what it comes down to, John, is that, I mean, we look at the odds and we look at what Caleb Williams has done. He's played the last 20 games for USC. He has 64 touchdown passes and 6 interceptions. And we're just kind of looking at the odds of this. But I think Notre Dame can make inroads against this team. And certainly USC is right for the picking based upon their last 3 games.
You're exactly right. This is not a juggernaut USC team overall, top to bottom. It is a USC team fueled by a transcendent player at quarterback, but this is also a very motivated Notre Dame team. And talking with people in the program all the way through Friday night into this morning, I think there's a looseness about this Notre Dame team that they feel like they can go out there and just completely cut it loose. And in a lot of ways, that's exactly what they have to do. You don't want to over magnify the game, but this is the season right here in a lot of ways for Notre Dame. We did all pick against the Irish, and I'm like you, I don't have a good feel for it, especially as I've visited with people the last 24 hours, and they've talked about how much energy there is, how much determination there is, and I think maybe, and we have to see it, but I think that Notre Dame feels like it's rediscovered that chippy physical edge that we all saw them develop over the course of preseason camp.
I think there's a bounce-back performance here, whether that's enough to hold down Caleb Williams and get a victory, but we know that this offense is not as inconsistent and poor as it has been, Tim, in the last 3 weeks. But they're going to have to do it. We talked about on overtime. Their offensive line they're going to have to man up in order to win this football game.
Yeah, my pick for USC was 50% Caleb Williams and 50% the fact that I don't have a lot of faith in 80% of the offensive linemen and 75% of the wide receivers.
It's a lot of percentages.
It's Notre Dame's offense that I don't have faith in right now after 2 games. They're going to play better than they did against Louisville. They're going to play better than they did against Duke. Can they finish drives and score? We all thought they played well against Ohio State, but 14 points is 14 points. They need to finish drives. That offensive line has to win the day. It lost the night. It lost the night last year in Los Angeles, and Notre Dame had no chance when that happens. They won't have a chance again if that happens this time. But going back to all 3 of us picking against Notre Dame, I bet you the last time it's happened was Ohio State 2022 season opener. Felt a lot more comfortable with that pick than I do this one. I mean, Notre Dame is going to play well, but you can play well and lose to Caleb Williams in the end, and that's kind of was the deciding factor.
So, bottom line, Notre Dame's offense has to take full advantage of all the shortcomings that USC has on the defensive side of the ball. They can't tackle anybody. Jared Parker has to have a great game. I mentioned this on overtime, and again, I don't think this is going to be popular. Tommy Rees is the offensive coordinator, I think, today would be clever enough to really put USC in some situations defensively and where you could outguess them. Jared Parker has to prove that he can do that today.
Yeah, it is a big game for Jared Parker, and the thing I like about Jared is he embraces it. He wants this opportunity. Spoken with him recently, he talks about how much it means for him to have this opportunity, how much it's very personal for him to reward the faith that Marcus Freeman has bestowed in him, and also to reward the faith that Notre Dame Nation has shown in him, especially when they got off to a fast start. And, you know, he's an SEC guy. He grew up in Eastern Kentucky, and he's talked to me specifically about walking around this campus and how special it is to him, how much he gets the goosebumps, and how much he feels a privilege and also a responsibility to deliver big-time results for Notre Dame. A couple of X factors, I believe, for Notre Dame on the offensive side of the ball today. Look, Jaden Greathouse, much healthier. I expect him to have a much larger role. Rico Flores continues to come along. Chris Tyree, I believe they're going to grow the package a little bit for Jordan Faison in today's game. And Jeremiah Love, when I talked to people this week, he's had a really spectacular week of practice. I think he has that top-end speed that's a difference maker. That he's the type of guy that can run away from the USC defense. Notre Dame doesn't have a lot of those guys. Jeremiah Love can do that. If they can blend him really well with Audric Estime, I think he can be a difference maker in this game.
You just mentioned the 2 words that I know Tim O'Malley is going to express right here now, Jeremiah Love. But in addition to him, and we all agree that he's an explosive guy that can exploit USC's defense, but in addition to him, Tim, who are you looking for from Notre Dame to set them apart from USC tonight?
Yeah, well, what you mentioned responsibility. One Notre Dame wide receiver, I don't care who it is, has a responsibility to help Mitchell Evans in the passing game because someone has to step forward. And Jared Parker has a responsibility to get Jeremiah Love the ball, if that's all true, because 5 carries was not enough last week. I said to Tim, it's not apples to oranges, but Jeremiah Love found some creases against Louisville that I believe a hobbled Audric Estime did not. If Estime's healthy, he's going to lead the Notre Dame team in carries. That's great. Jeremiah Love has to be involved in this game plan. We all think Jadarian Price can help this team. Maybe he's not fully healthy to do it, but he's out there on kickoff return. I think it's time to get Jadarian Price the ball a little bit here. Notre Dame cannot win this game if their weapons are not heavily involved. A lot of it's on Parker, but wide receivers, make a play. You are put in position to make plays as a wide receiver at Notre Dame. It's time for them to step up and make a play.
That's it pregame here just outside of Notre Dame Stadium. It's number 21 Notre Dame hosting number 10 USC. Please join us postgame on Irish Illustrated Overtime on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page.